Waves might be... oh, there we go. All right. We're just going to do a quick little intro here. We're off the coast right now. We're going to head back to the old Colorado for a moment and go figure out a couple things and maybe head back here.
Back to the icebox.
Yeah, back to the icebox for a second. But we did a badass podcast.
Really good podcast.
With Capt and Matt Dodson. Yeah. And it was pretty sweet. We talked about a lot of different things.
It was really good, I think, to hear a different perspective from another, really experienced fishing guide. Because a lot of times, we have a lot of good buddies and a lot of other great resources on here, but to hear another, really experienced perspective.
He kind of does it all. He does trout fishing and red fishing down here on the Texas coast. And, I encourage you to, take everything you can in on this podcast. Because it is pretty real. And, we break down some real shit, and it's pretty awesome to listen to. I had a great time doing it. And, I can't thank the guys over there enough, Blue Lagoon Lodge in Rockport.
Oh, Blue Lagoon's insane.
And Joe and, Matt, they're awesome.
I think if you're going to go red fishing on the Texas coast,
you need to hire these guys.
Yeah, go to Blue Lagoon. Yeah. Hire Matt. Go.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Really good guys.
And, they took us in, like we were buddies from a long time, and
absolutely.
We did the podcast, and, it was like we grabbed a bottle of tequila, did the podcast, we drank a bottle of tequila.
That bottle of tequila's long gone.
And then we cooked some food and hung out and, BS'd and did some fishing under the lights and had a great time just hanging out with these boys and getting to know them a little bit. And they're true guides.
Absolutely.
It's no 100%. BS.
Even just being on the boat with Matt, you're like, okay.
Yeah, this guy doesn't BS.
He doesn't BS. He's an actual fishing guide. He's not trying to pull your leg. He's not trying to gain anything from this. He's the real deal through and through.
Oh yeah, and that was one of the coolest parts. So, listen to this podcast and check it out. And go check out Blue Lagoon Lodge if you ever heading towards the Texas coast. These guys know a ton about it, and they're fully ready to rock and roll, and they will put you on fish. And they're very passionate about guiding. It's not just catching fish for
absolutely
them.
They love their fishery.
Yeah. You can tell just talking to Matt and Joe.
Yeah, they love it down there. They love that fishery. They love what it is. And I think that's just fantastic.
We didn't get Joe on the podcast. I wanted to. Maybe someday in the future we'll get Joe on the podcast. But Joe kind of runs the lodge around there, him and his wife, and it's super cool. And just, down to earth.
This is a great experience.
Yeah. We couldn't have found better guys to really reach out to and get to go fish with.
Yeah, so absolutely. I agree 100%.
Give the podcast a listen. Let us know what you think. Got Dane here at back.cast. On Instagram.
That's me.
At Cameron.Rhodes, at The Guided Trip. We're now available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, CastBox. We're all over. So give it a listen. Let us know what you think. It was pretty sick, man. It was a good time down here, hanging out on the coast for just a little bit.
10 out of 10 would do.
Exactly. 10 out of 10 would do.
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Mom.
It gets too weird. That gets way old. That's why I have to get it free.
right. This might be the coolest room we've done a podcast in so far.
Oh, guaranteed.
All right.
Yeah.
For sure.
Usually we sit outside of my kitchen in a little space where I hit my head on the ceiling every time I stand up.
Right on.
And
that works.
yeah, but this is pretty sweet, man. It's a cool gig you got here.
Yeah.
We're here with Captain Matt Dodson.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. He's a little nervous right now, but we got some tequila to take care of that. So, yeah, man, we went fishing today, and we've been out in Texas for a little over a week now and done some yak fishing, and we went out on a skiff twice, a small little skiff, the buddy, and then we went out with you today, and good day.
Yeah, y'all have seen kind of the two extremes of weather around here. Super high tides and gnarly winds that
Definitely
put everybody in a bad mood.
Yeah,
And
we were ready to call it.
yeah, cold front came down from the north and pushed the water out, and it's hard to remember the struggles of last week.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah,
True.
After
True.
today, yeah.
It's like, it wasn't that
The
bad.
3 really good days of fishing.
Yeah, you had 3 really good days of
Yeah.
fishing.
I needed it.
But why don't you just kind of go into your background? I mean, I got into, we connected over email a little bit. I was just kind of searching for some guides out, in this area, and ran across your page and just kind of started looking into it and noticed that you were a Western grad from Gunnison.
That's right.
And decided, I was like, man, this is perfect. We got something in common.
Yeah,
he
6
lived in
degrees,
that.
right?
Yeah, he lived in that shack of
Yeah.
a town, just ice shack of a town for a little while. But
Yeah.
I mean, you can go into that a little bit, just kind of how you got there. And I know we've gone over a lot of this
Sure,
today,
yeah.
so you're gonna have to say it again. But
No, I was born and raised in Dallas, and fished and hunted on the weekends every chance we got. And when I was about 6 or 7, started going up to Ennis, Montana, fishing Madison. And so I started fly fishing really young, and just always wanted to be in the mountains. I was kind of ruined from an early age. My dad always says, if you want your kids to be doctors or lawyers, don't take them to Montana.
yeah, I could see that.
And so I just never, it didn't make sense to me why we lived in Dallas if we liked Montana so much.
Right.
So that was kind of, my idea of where I wanted to be, mountains in general. Started college at University of Alabama, had a great time, met some cool people, but it just wasn't the right fit.
You smirked when you said had a great time.
Yeah, great.
Had a
great time. Roll Tide.
Yeah.
That was before Nick Saban, so I saw some bad football, but anyway, it was great. But academically, I needed a change, and I found out you could go to school in the mountains and fish and ski and still get a degree. So Western was a great option. It was a real small school. The professors knew my name and cell phone number, so if I didn't show up for class, they'd
He's out skiing. or
text
out
me and be
fishing.
like, how was the snow?
Yeah.
By the way, your paper's still due. So I started worked in a little fly shop in Crested Butte that's no longer there, and guided some wade trips around the valley. You guys know what you're doing a lot better than I did. I feel sorry for the people that paid.
Hey, we all got to cut our teeth somewhere, right?
You learn as you go, I guess. But anyway, as soon as I graduated, I moved to Montana.
Yeah.
It took a couple years for me to start guiding fishing, but I had some really amazing mentors that encouraged me to do it and kind of took me under their wing. And the rest is kind of history. Started in Big Sky because I worked on the ski hill in the wintertime, the ski patrolling. And just the more I guided fishing, the more I kind of migrated to Ennis because, the clientele, like if you're booking a vacation to Ennis, Montana, you're going to fish.
Yeah.
And the season's a little bit longer over there. And
There's not many people who just stumble into a shop and go, hey, we'll try that today.
Yeah, that's kind of a Big Sky thing. Like your family shows up for your mountain vacation in the summer, and they see people waving a fly rod around the Gallatin, and they're like, I want to try that.
That looks nice.
And so, as a young guide, you're sitting there with your coffee and your breakfast burrito on the porch of the fly shop, like hoping somebody walks in and wants to go fishing, and you're like, yeah, sure, I can take 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, no problem. Let me get some more rods together here.
So
have to borrow from the shop.
So it just made sense, and and
so now you just go back and forth between Ennis and Rockport here.
Yeah, so I started did a lot of saltwater fishing on my free time, and said, you know what, my home state has a really amazing fishery that I never even really knew about. Like for my family, fly fishing was what you did in Montana. Like all the fishing we did in Texas was with a bait casting rod and a Texas rig worm, catching bass. So that it's kind of catching on. I think fly fishing down here is still kind of on the fringe of what people think as far as a fly fishing destination, but it's a really great contrast back and forth. I do a 100-day season in Montana, and then come down here and try to book all my clients from Montana, tell them to come down and fish down here.
Right.
It's a good gig.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's great.
I do want to mention, we did, you brought up mentors. It's kind of an interesting thing that we talked about today. You know, there's not many of them these days, you know, that are willing to take in the young kids and teach them a little bit about how to do it.
Sure.
And that's interesting to me. I mean, I barely had some, I just kind of got in with the right crew, but not many people do that anymore. I mean, even us at times too. It's like, man, I don't really want to go fish with someone who can't row all day. Like I want someone who can row a boat. So we just stay away from those people at times and don't bring them in.
Mean mug them. And
It's almost like you taking us and like, man, these guys can't even pull. Like, geez, I don't even get to fish today. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
we talked about it last night. And I was like, man, I don't know if he'd let us.
I was having so much fun watching it.
Yeah,
I didn't really care.
It was like, man, it'd be interesting to try. I don't want to screw up this nice boat here.
We've been pulling these kayaks around, dude, just getting muddy as hell. It's all over my hat, my face. Dude.
Yeah, don't get my boat muddy.
I don't want to trash your boat.
That's why I was
dirty.
scared.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man,
watch the non-skid.
First thing you'll do, bring the pole over and hit somebody in the head. It's like, I don't know if this is a good idea, but I mean, it's crazy, not taking in, as many people and teaching them and getting them started. And it can get tough out there when you are a young guy trying to get after it. But you did, something you said that was kind of cool. It's just like, I just kept my head down, kept barreling through and just tried not to cut anybody off. I
don't know. As long as you're aware, I think people can be pretty ignorant getting into it. At the beginning, you're kind of getting your feet wet and feeling things out. But, I think I was lucky in both my freshwater and saltwater learning experiences. I got to learn from people who do it right. And I think I was lucky. There's a lot of places where fly fishing trips or guided trips are in such high demand that businesses will sign a guide license for anybody, vouch for anybody.
That's what kind of,
and
that's where I was headed next. You beat me to it.
They don't have that mentorship, and so you see maybe ethics and etiquette. Sorry, that's the word.
Etiquette.
Etiquette. Tequila.
Hey, it's all right, man.
Etiquette kind of goes out the window, and it may be because nobody ever told them. I don't think it's malicious.
No,
or like blatant.
Well, that's
most of the time.
They're just kind of ignorant to the fact of that.
That's kind of interesting. I mean, we ran into a situation where we were in a little lake and somebody came.
Oh yeah,
they were
about this.
They, were obviously guiding, and they pulled in, and we didn't know what the etiquette was.
You were in the kayak.
Yeah.
Oh, that was you guys, you assholes.
Get out of my. That's my leg.
But it's interesting. Definitely a learning curve associated with saltwater fishing. But that especially when the guys at the fly shop are super nice and they'll tell you all these places to go. But I guess that was kind of an eye opener because we didn't really know what the etiquette was. On how to we kind of just stayed away. We're like, oh
Yeah.
man, that's a guided trip, so we're gonna go over here.
Yeah, that's that's a way to do it. Just pulling in front of somebody, you can tell wind direction and which way the boat's facing and whatever, how they're working. And, you give them several hundred yards or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you're behind them, you're not making a difference,
Right.
picking up sloppy seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're missing fish,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
They're missing a lot of fish in most cases.
It was
So-
kind of funny.
and
I
those
looked
fish
at
settle
Dane and I
down.
was like, I don't think, we're going to have to worry too much about this guy casting out of the front of the boat up there.
Yeah, right. Look at that guy.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think we're going to have to worry about him
Yeah,
too
yeah,
much.
Dude did have to get down and give a casting lesson.
He did.
Oh, nice.
It was a little, we talked
Right
about
on.
that.
Good for him.
Yeah, but it was more like, hey, don't do this, wave it
Yeah.
over your head like this. Try
Yeah.
keeping it lower and,
Right.
keeping that rod a little bit more stiff instead of waving it around.
Yeah,
But,
people get buck fever, and even if they've had a lot of experience in casting lessons, they start waving that thing like, it's like, oh,
Yeah.
shit.
oh, I mean, we've
Put my helmet on.
I'm sure we did.
Yeah.
We did some today. I'm sure there were some moves where you were like, "What the hell was that,
yeah.
man?" Like, "Jeez."
Dude, I had
didn't-
some moves where I was like, what the hell is that?
y'all are throwing laser beams, man.
That's good to hear.
I don't see that very
But-
often.
That's kind of. I mean, I was hoping you were kind of stoked on that. It's always fun to go out with some people who can
Yeah.
fish and throw some casts, and
Yeah,
it's like, all
absolutely.
right, there's not a whole lot of learning curve we have to do here.
Yeah.
We spot the fish. Now all I really got to do is get you to put
Yeah.
it there and do a good strip.
Yeah,
and that
right.
was-
I think saltwater fishing is all about feeding the fish, and every species is different. Every location of every species is different.
Yeah.
We feed these fish here differently than you would in Louisiana, or different than you would in Florida or
Yeah.
Carolinas, or
Right.
And we found pretty quick, how to feed them today. It was like, all right,
Yeah,
we
every
gotta,
day's different too,
we
right?
got to literally put it right in front of their nose, cast it over them,
Yeah, they
bring
were-
it right to their nose.
They weren't looking around. They were a lot of times had their heads down, which is
Yeah.
cool because they're feeding. Sometimes they looked like they were sleeping,
Yeah,
but you could pretty much land it right on them in most cases, right? And strip it right.
yeah.
And
Stripper,
Yeah.
right? And hook set, right?
Yeah,
Dan?
yeah.
I don't know what you
Yeah.
guys are talking about, but
The hero
whatever.
set.
The hero set. He
He-Man.
I thought it was a tarpon.
put the hurting on some
Yeah,
fish.
redfish
But-
jump. Apparently.
But no, I mean, it was cool, pulling around with you because we haven't really been with anybody who knows the area and knows the knowledge, and it's just kind of fishing with our buddy.
Sure.
Who, he's learning too, and checking
Shit,
it out.
I'm still learning.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's the cool part about it is that
Yeah.
you're always learning.
Yeah.
About fly fishing in the sport.
Absolutely.
That there's always a new factor
Yeah.
that has to be pulled in.
Yeah.
And we're quickly learning. The wind, the tides.
Yeah.
Like you need sun, you need
Totally.
a certain amount of wind, you need this, you need that, and it's like. But then you can go back, you trout fish all the time too. It's like
Right.
it's the same thing trout fishing.
Yeah,
Where it's like,
totally.
all right, you need clouds today. We need these bugs to come off today.
Yeah.
We need some cloud cover, and it's like
Yeah.
there's all these factors that play in, and it's the same thing just in a different environment.
Yeah.
And that's really cool to see for us at least. And I'm sure
Yeah.
it's cool for you too to be able to go back and forth and be able to
Right.
do that.
And I'm still new enough down here where I'm just now kind of forming patterns, and just now getting my spots, and
Right.
it's starting to all come together, and thankfully I've got really good clients that were like, yeah, we'll go fishing down there with you, and
Yeah.
I didn't really
From the Montana scene.
yeah, and it was kind of guinea pigging it,
Yeah.
and some days worked out, some days didn't, but
Right.
usually if it was a good day, like a nice day,
Yeah.
I was finding fish. And, anyway, forming patterns brings up, I keep a Excel spreadsheet, and there's always factors that we don't even know about,
Right.
and I think there's always going to be an anomaly, but you can start forming some patterns here and there, and
What's your spreadsheet consist of?
well, I I'm all about the wind. Right?
Yeah.
And we talked about that.
And at times it's foreign to us. We're like, dude,
Yeah.
it either blows us downstream or it blows us upstream, man.
Well,
I don't
here,
know what
yeah.
you mean.
Here it can make a
like,
difference. It can make a difference between
It's either
muddy
going to
water
suck
and
the
clear
row
water.
in or not,
Yeah.
you know?
Right. If you got the river,
Yeah.
you're just going.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here, we got a lot of access, a lot of boat launches, and the big bays get pretty crazy on a high wind and different directions, and so you can really kind of tailor your day around that, and that's probably my biggest factor. Right?
Yeah.
Tides being the next. We talked about tides down here are pretty minimal.
Yeah.
Like,
And I read some of that
Yeah.
before we got down here.
Yeah.
really small, but the fish are keen to it. They're sensitive to it, obviously, but it's not like South Carolina where they got a huge tide change every day.
Yeah.
Here it's pretty gradual, and the wind affects it a lot. We'll get onshore wind, hard onshore wind, and the water will fill up, and then you'll get a massive cold front like you guys experienced the other
Yeah.
day, and it drops 2 feet,
Yeah.
and you get out there and go, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. We learned that.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, this is a sweet spot. Let's come back here tomorrow, and like,
Yeah.
go back and it's like, oh, there's not a lot of water in here
Stuck
now.
in the mud.
Yeah, we did it. We did a good walk through the mud with
Yeah.
the kayaks, and it was not very fun.
Uh-huh.
So we learned that, but I mean, that's the thing. You got to try it,
Right.
and it's like, we're trying to think the saltwater brain, but we're still
Yeah.
kind of on the trout brain, where
Yeah.
it's like, oh man, the hatch was here yesterday.
Yeah,
Let's
fish
be
are gonna be
here.
there.
Yeah,
Sure.
the fish will be there,
Yep.
and that's what and there was some fish in there yesterday.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
we
yeah.
caught some fish, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the day before where we banged them up, and it was like, that was pretty good, where, it was 8 fish a piece
Yeah.
or a little more, out of the kayaks. And we're like, this is unreal, man. We haven't seen
Yeah.
this yet.
On Saturday, right after that cold front, I was just thinking back from last year, because I don't have, this huge several years of experience down here.
Yeah.
But I remember one day after a cold front, it blew out of the northwest. It was chilly in the morning. The tide had dropped out. I put in this one bay that I know has a lot of fish in there. And I fished this certain edge, and we had great fishing.
Yeah.
So, looking at the forecast, I'm like, okay, that looks really similar to that day. And went back there, and I freaking lapped it 3 times. I normally don't do that.
Yeah.
But, this guy
It's like
was,
riding up an eddy,
Yeah.
Just like, all
Totally.
right, let's just,
Yeah, row around.
yeah,
right?
exactly. Just do another lap,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, like on the Missouri, they
Yeah.
get in line and they just roll around.
Exactly. I mean, gray reefs like that,
Yeah.
too. You find all the fish, and you're like, all right, there's 10
Yeah.
boats stacked up. We're going to pull in and just take our turn down the line.
Never leave fish to find fish.
Exactly. That's a good one.
And then we ended up catching enough to where we could go find fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them a little break.
No, we were kind of talking about it when we were driving back over here. I was like, man, like, we were going pretty hard for a point where it was like, couple minutes, catch fish, next person goes. Couple minutes,
Yeah.
catch fish, next
Stand up,
person.
sit
Yeah,
down, fight.
exactly. And then we got to a couple points where it's like, got to a couple points where it's like, all right, man, like, what's gonna happen here? It was like, we're gonna start playing baseball rules here, Dane. Like, it's like, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
I need to start moving around or do some casting or something.
Right.
But for the most part, it was good.
Yeah, it was
and
consistent.
saw a lot of fish and
Yeah.
got a lot of opportunities.
Different scenarios too, different kind of water, different
Yeah.
kind of flats.
That was
grass,
cool too,
mud,
seeing
sand.
all the
Yeah.
different types of flats.
Right.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
A lot of different terrain
Yeah.
out there, and even asking questions to you is like, all right, why'd that happen? Was it me? Was it the fish? And sometimes it's like, it
Yeah.
depends, man. I don't know.
Right.
It could have been anything. Like those
Yeah.
last 3 fish at the end.
Yeah.
Or it's like
Perfect shots.
all 3 casts were right
Yeah.
on them for the most part, and it's like, well, they didn't
Yeah.
eat.
Right. 3 feeding fish, and you covered all 3 of them, slid it in front of them, and they bailed.
And that's where I start thinking, because I like to tinker. Dane
Yeah.
knows that with trout rigs. I
Right,
like to tinker,
tinker.
and I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
dude, was it the fly?
Yeah.
And that's why I
well,
kept
as
asking
trout guys,
you. I was
right?
like,
We go like
Yeah.
pattern. Oh
Yeah.
man, well maybe
yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
well,
maybe
is
they
it
went
color?
the royal. Maybe
Yeah.
they went the
Yeah, exactly.
Terra Narcissus.
Is it
Yeah.
purple today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I was asking, I was like, man, you like with black work, because I was like, losing confidence in the fly.
Right.
I was like, all
It's a
right,
big deal.
we're getting a lot of refusals and a lot of chases and refusals. I was like, man, what do we do here? And obviously, best more than we do. And it's like, no, you're not telling me to change it. So let's keep it rolling.
Right.
I asked and it wasn't like, put that one on. So it was like, all right, we're going to roll with this.
I think we hit slack tide and it changed things up a little bit. We were also on a different scenario. Most of the fish we caught were in the back lakes. Yeah. And the happiest fish we saw were in muddy water. Yeah. Right. Not ideal for sight fishing, but we
explain just for people who don't know the happy fish.
So agreeable, right?
Yeah.
You put a fly in front of them and you do it right, and you get rewarded for that. Yeah. Unhappy fish, right? Or sometimes redfish can act like permit, where you put a beautiful 50 foot shot. Yeah. 50 covered
yard cast.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people say that,
Yeah.
Like I could do it the whole fly line.
Oh, I've heard people say that. I could throw a 4-weight into backing. Like,
yeah. Dude, I can throw all of the backing.
Yeah, right. Like, awesome. I'm going to throw this 40 feet really accurately to catch a fish.
Okay, keep going on if you remember where you're
so, you covered the fish like we talked about, right?
Yeah.
You put it a little bit past them because they're not going to come out of their periphery. Right, that was one thing.
That was an interesting point. Yeah,
if you cast to the fish, you're kind of leaving it short, basically.
Yeah.
So you lead them and cover them.
Slide it by him.
If you go way past them, you can slide it in position and let it sit until they get there.
Long strip, slide in position, wait for them to get there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then bump. And then if you get 3 or 4 fish to see a fly going across all of them, you should get an eat.
Yeah.
Right.
If you don't get an eat, like the last shot we had today, it was like. And it was kind of trending that way.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Like
and, honestly, we talked about that too, is like, we didn't know what to expect out of this. I'm sure you didn't either. Yeah. We were just some random dudes that hit you up on email, and it was like, hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, exactly. You don't know what to expect. I should bring up we were a little late because we always talk about our clients showing up late. We're like, you don't want to be too late, but you don't want to be too early. Where do you show up? And like,
I was like, I hope I told him what boat.
No, and like, dude, we were heading out there, and I looked at.
Granted, it was like
my
4
map.
minutes late. So
it wasn't that bad, but I'm a punctual guy, and I'm like, man, we need to be there at this time.
Freaking out.
Yeah, I was freaking out a little bit.
This guy's gonna be an asshole.
Yeah, I was like, dude, man, you don't want to screw with these guys. These are saltwater guys,
dude, you were.
Get out of my
I was
way.
freaking out a little bit.
He was freaking out,
dude. I was like, but I just don't like being late.
Right.
But
that's fair. I had to take a shit. That's why we were late.
He's like, dude, I gotta go take a grumper, man.
You gotta go.
Dude,
where'd you go? Right now,
at the camp. I was like, bro, I can't leave yet. I have to shit.
You should try the HEB next time. That's good.
I held mine in all day. I was like, I'm gonna hold it.
Good for you. I know. Don't do that. It's kind of unhealthy.
Dude, I get nervous up there on the front of the boat. I don't want to shit my pants in front of a stranger.
No. Yeah, and you can't go in the live well.
In front of a stranger. Yeah, we learned that. Don't go in the live well.
Yeah, don't.
No peeing in the live well.
Take a shit in the live well.
I'm trying to remember where I was headed with that, but yeah, we showed up a little late. But yeah, you didn't know what to kind of expect, out of us, and that was the interesting to me. We didn't know what to expect out of you as well. Yeah. Like, who is this guy? It seems pretty cool, just kind of texting back and forth. Yeah. Seems like a good dude, he's texting us at the end of the day. Yeah, obviously. Of course I'm a good dude. Texting us at the end of the day, hey, I was fishing today, we banged him up, and it was like, oh man, we didn't,
Oh yeah, so sorry.
He's like, best day I've ever had. We're like, oh man.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, should have been here last week.
Yeah, exactly. That's a classic saying. But it was cool to, obviously I was kind of stressing out right at the get-go, trying to, I know as a guide, you want to get on the water and be like, dude, you don't need all this shit, quit bringing all this stuff. And I finally realized that when we were standing at the boat, I was like, I don't need all this stuff.
Why am I see that in your face.
Yeah, I was like, why am I bringing all this, dude? Like, I have a small dry bag full of some sunglasses. Like, you never know what's going to happen. But it was cool. I felt like on the water, like, you know, it kind of clicked immediately.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like, all right, you know, we're good. We
Yeah.
can kind of goof
You know,
off and have a good
Friends
time.
from the old neighborhood. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it was cool having that with you too, you know, being able
Yeah.
to connect, because obviously some guides and clients don't connect, and you're like, man, this
Sure.
is a really bummer day. You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
you're catching fish, it's great, but like we just aren't having a good time. You know, I'm not having a
Yeah.
good time guiding you.
Right.
You know, like,
the funny thing is I get questions about that all the time from friends and clients, and I'm shocked at how infrequently it happens. You know, guiding, you know, 200 plus days a year. You know, there might be 2 days where I'm like, I can't wait to get back to the ramp.
yeah.
Or like,
Yeah.
man, you know, next time you call me, I'm busy.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to answer that.
Pretty
phone
sure,
call.
yeah. November, yeah, sorry. I'm
I'm booked.
I'm busy.
Booked.
I'm thinking about booking you again. Oh, sorry, I'm busy. I didn't even tell you.
Yeah.
what date I'm
No,
on.
I'm pretty sure I'm busy.
Yeah.
I'm really busy all
I'm
the
a
time.
super busy dude.
You know,
right now.
it takes a real jerk to be in a bad mood on his vacation.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know it
yeah.
it takes a real jerk guide as well, you know, to
Yeah.
make that vacation bad.
That's right.
And that's, you know,
right.
that's
And
kind
they're
of
in the wrong business.
Exactly. That's kind of
Yeah.
what we base this whole podcast around too.
Yeah.
Is, you know, we're all guides for
Yeah.
the most part. You know, we interview people that aren't guides,
Yeah, the
but
guided trip.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the guided trip.
Yeah.
And so it's,
I agree.
you know, we try and it was cool, you know, hearing some of your aspects on it as well, you know, from a saltwater view to a trout view, you know, kind of what you do, and how you treat clients and
Yeah.
how situations are handled. But you can definitely turn that trip around, you know,
Right.
and make it a bad trip
Yeah.
as a guide.
That's right.
You know, if you're in a bummer mood or whatever,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
we could have showed up and we could have been, you know, 5 minutes late, 4
Yeah.
minutes late, and you can be like, what the hell, you know, what's your problem, you know?
Right.
And it's like, oh, great, here we go.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't sure what to
Freaking
expect.
fish.
Yeah, dude, we're fishing.
Can't see them for the next 3 hours,
Yeah.
but we're fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We got to be fishing all the
Yeah.
time.
That's right.
So, you know, it's cool to have that. And we did a lot of talking today, and we are covering stuff that we already talked about today.
Yeah, it's cool.
But yeah, it's cool.
That's it's a good point. And you know, I think in the industry, saltwater guides, there is a preconceived notion that a lot of saltwater guides are salty, right? And aggro and type
Joe,
A.
you want to get in here? You take it? Okay.
And I think that, you know, as trout guides, we tend to have maybe a better bedside manner.
Yeah, I think that's
You
a
know what I
great way
mean?
to put it.
Like all of us start out guiding newbies.
Yeah.
Right. And maybe we still do. You know, I get a handful of people that have never fished every summer in Montana that just show up on their vacation and they saw this fly fishing thing and you're like, wow, this person's never
Yeah.
fished before. This is how you do it. You do the parking lot thing. Like,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
what a fish feels
Yeah,
like.
exactly.
Real.
Yeah.
Strip.
Oh, man, that's
tip
awesome.
Tip up. You know,
Yeah.
Right? We all do that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they
Attach
go
it to a
out, and
bush
10
and-
minutes later, son of a bitch, you know, they catch a fish.
Yeah.
And it's the greatest trip they've ever had.
Yeah.
And to have that perspective in a saltwater flats fishing environment where in a lot of places people are expected to show up and be a freaking ace.
That's the thing.
You know, I think it gives me perspective and patience.
Yeah.
And you know, if you miss that fish, like, you know, good try, man.
Yeah.
Like this is what, you know, you came back too far in your back cast, and you had a lot of slack to pick up before
Yeah.
the fly moved,
Right.
and that's why you missed the fish.
I mean, I had one of those today too, where I put the cast a little long, and you go let it sit, and I didn't get in all that slack
Sure.
while it was sitting, and I just
fish
didn't
went over it.
think. Yeah, and the fish went over it, and it was
Yeah.
like,
Right.
you know, I blew
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Because I go to strip, you go strip, strip.
well, in my mind,
and
I'm
it
like,
was
I blew that one because I should have told him to strip.
yeah, but you know, it's like, I mean, I haven't done a lot of flats fishing, but you know, that's a pretty
Yeah.
basic move. You know, where it's like, hey,
You're
strip
reading-
your slack in.
Sure.
You know, like get your
Well,
slack in.
right?
You should have your.
You know, and sometimes the boat's moving forward.
Yeah.
Right. And all of a sudden, your 6-inch strip isn't
Yeah.
moving the fly.
It was cool, kind of being able to watch, you know, each other, Dane and I,
Yeah.
you know, fish too, and learn things from each other, and
Yeah.
be like, you know, all right, get that slack in. You know, if you overshoot them a little
Right.
bit, get that slack in first. You know, and see which way they're
Yeah,
headed
yeah.
if you can see them.
Yeah.
And I saw a big learning curve with you today, Dane, too, where it's like, trust your guide, you know, like no free thinking. And it's like,
that's right.
hey, 10 o'clock, put it out 30 feet. And you're like, I don't see him. Just 10 o'clock, put it out
Trust
30
me.
feet.
Get
you
your
know,
line
like,
going.
Yeah, exactly. Just get it going.
Get your line going.
And that's a big
Yeah.
thing, you know, I learned when I was out in Andros.
Yeah.
We can bring up Andros here in a
Yeah.
minute, too. But when I was out in Andros, it was like, you know, the guide's telling me, all right, you got fish at 2 o'clock, you know, 40 feet out. You're like, I don't see him. He goes, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care. Just
Get
put the
your line
cast
going.
in. Just put the cast in.
Yeah, dude.
Keep
it
going,
is-
keep
it
going,
was,
keep going, you know.
Admittedly, it's super hard
Yeah.
for me to cast it not on
Right.
target.
Yeah.
Some people have a
Yeah.
hard time with that.
And I was just like, dude, I don't want to put one out
Yeah.
there and it be like 4 inches wrong and he spooks when
And
I
that
could have.
so like
But I don't know. You know,
did you
that's just
like
the
did
thing.
you like I'd ask you,
Yeah.
you know, once I made a blind cast
Yeah.
like closer
Yeah.
and you go, yep, okay. And I'd pick up and go
Right.
closer and
Yeah.
you go, okay, you know,
Yeah.
a little left of that one.
little
okay.
little left and
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
Yeah, little adjustments like that.
yeah.
And
that's why
as you're
I
false
learned to
casting
ask.
and working your line out. I'm like,
You can
all right,
see how much
a little
line's
longer.
coming
Okay,
out.
a little more left, a little more left. All right, lay that down.
Yeah.
And
That is
then,
the
you know.
cool part about saltwater, especially for you too, where
That's-
you're like,
right.
I mean, you're hunting. We brought
Yeah.
that up earlier. You know,
Yeah, remote
We're-
control fishing.
Yeah, we're
Right.
remote control.
Yeah.
That's a great line. I mean,
Yeah.
remote control fishing. You
Yeah.
you can see them before we can for
Yeah.
the most part.
Right.
Sometimes there was
Should
fish.
be.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. Should
The
happen.
close
that way.
ones sometimes, you know,
Yeah,
on the bow,
because
you
you're
see 'em
looking
quick.
far.
Yep.
You know, you're trying to look for fish out there
Right.
while we're looking close.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you guys can see fish, by the way. That doesn't happen very
we're
often.
always hunting, man.
I mean,
we're always looking.
The
for
other
fish.
day when I had such a great day with a client that had never redfished before, you know, it was easy to see him for me, and not very easy for him to see him. So there was a lot of that remote control fishing.
Yeah.
Like, I got to catch this fish with his hands.
Yeah.
and,
Right.
and it's
You're
fun.
just the
Tell
you're
you
the
what,
puppeteer
it's-
back there,
It's
man.
more
You're just-
rewarding than any other guiding I've ever
Yeah.
done.
I can imagine that.
Yeah,
I was
You're
thinking
like-
about
you're
that.
Like, hell yeah, damn,
Yeah.
got that
Yeah,
fish.
that's I mean, we
That's my
talk about
fish.
that a lot. Yeah, you
That's my
live
fish.
vicariously through your clients
Yeah.
at times too, and
Yeah.
watching that, and you're like, I did all of that
Yeah.
pretty much.
And if you
know?
don't like that as much or more than catching them yourself, then you're in the wrong business.
Yeah. No, and that's why we're all in that business. You
Yeah.
know, that's a great point. You know,
Totally.
I mean, that's why we're all in that business because we like watching people catch
Yeah.
fish, and you know, we have talked to some guides before. You know, they're like, oh, I'd never do something like that. Take some guys out. I don't know. You know, and it's
Sure.
like, well, you know, you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, we
Why not?
go back on this a little bit, but you don't know what to expect when we're showing up.
Yeah.
And you know, I kind of clicked well, and it was
Yeah.
a good day, man. It
Yeah, it
was
was
a
easy.
lot of fun. Yeah.
I had a blast, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's
That was the first time I'd ever been on the front of a saltwater guide's boat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
Yeah, it was light duty from my perspective.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
it was
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got to sit back and kind of watch it happen. couple tweaks here and there.
Yeah, but I mean, seems like we kind of figured out those tweaks. You know, like we said, just
Yeah.
kind of figuring out that strip a little bit, and
Well, and you know, so many people focus on the cast,
yeah,
and yeah, it's you know, you want to be able to get the
I
line
remember
out
what I
there,
was gonna
but
say.
but once the fly's in the water, like how are you going to fish it?
Right.
You know, and being coordinated with the line and line management and knowing to keep your rod tip down so you have a tight connection to that line.
Yeah.
That's a big deal, and listening to the guide, you know, how to strip it, you know,
Yeah.
big strip,
Yeah.
you know,
Let's
you know,
hit,
bump,
let's
bump,
hit.
bump,
Yeah,
little strip,
Yeah.
you know,
'Cause-
slide it long.
Yeah.
All right.
The little strip was something that I had no idea about
Yeah.
until today. I was like, dude, because you know the guy that we had previously gone out with, he's like, just strip it regular.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he told me, and I was
Yeah.
like,
what does that mean?
wow.
You know, what
You
kind
know,
of
I was like,
tempo
what
do
the
you
fuck
need?
does that
Regular.
mean?
So,
But
this is what's this podcast rated?
What do you mean? Oh,
What's
you can
the-
you
I
can
can say anything?
Yeah, you
just
can say
rate
anything.
whatever you
Yeah.
want.
Well,
we put it in the comments because we've
Yeah,
had a
yeah.
couple people be like,
Sure.
I listened to this with
My
my
son,
daughter.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there was F words everywhere. And we're like, I apologize.
Sorry, Mom.
You know, it does say explicit on it. So yeah, you can say whatever you want.
so I was in Belize for my honeymoon, right? And
It's a great place for your honeymoon.
Yeah, we were at a fishing lodge and throwing a permit and this was back, you know, several years ago. I've learned so much more now. I need to go back to Belize because it was great. But the guide was telling me how to strip, and I was stripping too big, you know. And he wanted these little baby tick 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 tick
Yeah.
tick, and he's like, yeah, it's like you're jacking off a gerbil.
Nice.
And I was like, oh yeah, I totally know what you mean.
Yeah.
I get it.
Oh,
I get
just
it
like
now.
this.
Yeah.
I've done that.
Yeah. Okay. Why didn't you say something
Yeah.
earlier?
Why didn't you say that earlier? Yeah, exactly. That's a good way.
You know, so it's
I like the sounds are good because, you know, like sometimes, you know, I've had guides out in Ennis that'll go short strip and you're like, okay, you know, like what tempo though? You know, I'm not sure what tempo. And then when you go tick, 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 you can kind of be like, all right, tick, 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 you know, and put that in there, bump, 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 you know, and put that.
And you see an eat and long strip.
Yeah, long strip.
Right.
That's what, you know, kind of it was out there bone fishing, you know, it's like, all right,
that long,
like you do a long strip, long strip is like, all right, really long strip. And you'd long strip and then just go tight. Yeah, exactly.
And the fish starts pulling away and then you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a big curve because the last 2 days, you know, it's just kind of like, I mean, we don't know what we're doing. We're just trying to figure out what strip is working. Yeah. You know, it's like, all right, just put it in their face and give it a nudge and see what happens.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Like, and we did a lot of pauses, you know, where you were saying, you know, don't pause.
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Right. Like
just
a bonefish, you want to get their attention.
Exactly.
Let the fly fall.
Yeah.
And they come pick it up off the mud.
Yeah.
These fish usually will bail if you let that fly
and
stop.
Sometimes, you know, with those bones too, you know, like you want to do smooth strips because if you pull too hard, it lifts that fly up off the bottom. Sure. And, you know, it wasn't any of that today. It was just kind of, you know, just make sure you're keeping that fly moving. Yeah. And we got a lot of chases with eats at the end.
The eat is definitely more aggressive with the redfish.
Yeah. I think it's in my opinion, it's a lot more fun than the bones. Yeah. I mean, beautiful.
You don't get the blistering like run into the backing from a 3-pound bonefish. Yeah. You know, on a redfish, but some of these fish will take you well into the backing.
Yeah, I could see that.
But you know, like I said earlier, they kind of remind me of a mix between bonefish and brown trout. Yeah, the way they eat. Yeah, super like aggravated. Yeah, like
aggressive.
Like I'm gonna kill that thing.
Yeah, totally.
And then you hook them and they go on a little run and then they just shake their head like they're pissed
and they're done.
And
then they're good. All right, I'll come in.
Right.
We're talking about that a little bit. I go, because I told somebody the other day, I go, man, you know, like bone fishing is fun, you know, it's a blast, right? You know, but I like the hunt part of it, you know, casting to them and getting them to eat. And then I'm like, after 3 or 4, I'm done fighting them. Yeah. You know, I'm like, I'm over it, you know, like, you know, and they kind of gave me this look like, are you stupid? I'm like, dude, no, it's the eat, man. Like it's the hunt and the eat. That's the fun part, you know, like, you know, reds are fun, you know, I mean, but it's the eat that gets you, that sells you, where you're like, that was a cool eat. Yeah. And finding them tailing or whatever, you know.
We talked about that today. You know, we were fishing barbless hooks, which I do. Yeah. And, you know, we had a couple come off like at the end of the first run. Yeah. Right. And
it was like, cool.
Yeah, you caught that fish.
We're all like,
it up.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, what are you going to take another picture of a 20-inch redfish?
Yeah, exactly. Right? You know, I gave you a little shit when that one came out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man. That first one I had with the 3 spots. I was like, oh, you know, but it's like.
I kind of felt, I was like, oh,
I mean, it's cool, dude. You know, like,
whoops.
Here's the thing we do too.
Hopefully you catch another one.
Yeah. I've had that happen trout fishing too. You're like, oh, we'll catch more. And then you don't catch a single thing for the rest of the trip. You're like, ooh, we blew that one opportunity on a photo that would have made your freaking Instagram blow up for the day. Yeah. You know, but I mean, we've talked about that. We've talked about it on this podcast too. You know, we get a lot of people, oh, we need more pictures, we need more videos. And it's like, dude, we don't do it all the time. You know, like we're not that into it where it's like, hey, dude, we're fishing, man. Yeah. You know, like, I mean, I took some little photos and videos here and there, but like, we're fishing. Yeah. You know, it's like, I don't want to be on my phone the whole time trying to, hey, check this out. Look how cool I am.
Stand that shit, dude.
Every fuck, you know, sorry.
You can say it.
Say it.
every fish, you know, there's no, you know.
Yeah.
Every now and then in Montana, I'm like, you know, we catch a fish and they're like, I want to take a picture of it. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Cool. So that was a 16-inch rainbow. I'm like, next picture is going to be a bigger fish. Yeah. You know.
We're going to get a big one before we take a picture again. Yeah. It's like every little team.
Yeah,
like,
and I'm not
Do
gonna
the grip and grin with the.
I'm not gonna row over to the bank and drop my anchor
Yeah.
and then wait till I get back in
Yeah.
line because there's a busy day.
Yeah.
you know,
And
you're
sometimes,
like,
I mean, the gunny, it's got a lot of private property, so you
Yeah,
can't just
that's
can't
right.
stop.
no, you can't.
And you're like, dude,
Yeah.
either we're gonna eddy out, or we're just gonna
That's
motor
right.
down,
Yeah,
and
at
you're
least you got
gonna
an
you're gonna
excuse.
miss, 100 yards of water while
Yeah.
we're taking this dumb picture.
Or
Yeah.
more, dude, just burning water.
Oh yeah, just
with the
burning
picture.
water.
Well,
and you're
yeah.
like,
yeah,
what was the point in that?
Right.
Like I hope it's a great experience.
Yeah.
I hope you can remember that. Yes, but
Well, we got the opposite problem on the Madison. You got these guys rolling down the middle, and every fish they're like clunk. They put the anchor down,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, all right, I guess I'm gonna row around you. And,
Yeah.
and you look around a little bit because
yeah,
Yeah, that's brutal.
yeah.
that's tough. Where's I was gonna ask you about the first fish that Dane caught. You got down off the pole or off the stand,
Yeah.
and put the pole away and grabbed it for
Yeah.
us, and got
Oh,
the
yeah.
fly out and everything.
First
and then,
class guy.
yeah, I was like, damn, does he do this with every fish? I was like, this is gonna wear him out, up and down, up and down.
Yeah, I got
and
leg
then
workout.
Yeah, and I was thinking about it today. I was kind of thinking about. I was like, I wonder if he does that. With clients all the time.
Yeah.
Like gets down and lands them
Yeah,
for them, and
I
and
release
gets-
the fish.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that's probably better for you.
Yep.
I mean, you could tell we were doing it right.
Yeah.
For the most
exactly.
part,
And you guys saw me do it.
yeah.
And I try to take care of every fish I
Yeah.
catch.
Absolutely.
And release them and make sure I'm not drawing blood or
Yeah.
and we fish barbless hooks.
Yeah,
I do. And
I like that idea.
Yeah.
because I mean,
I think it's been great. so far.
sometimes they swallow them a little bit, and
Yeah.
you're like, all right, we can just push them back and pull them out pretty
Right.
easily.
Yep,
And
exactly.
just pop it
And
out.
redfish, if you got a barb on there, man, they got enough meat on them where it can be really hard to get it out of there. And they've got a lot of blood supply in their crusher, like a bonefish.
Mm.
So if they get that hook in that crusher and a barb in there and you rip it out and they bleed, they're done.
Okay.
So you saw me with that release tool.
Yeah, that was interesting.
With a barbless hook, man, you grab that leader, slide it down the leader. And,
That's really cool.
Yeah.
right over.
I had a dude bring that on a trout
Yeah.
fishing trip.
Did you?
And I
Like
was
that
Wow.
catch and release tool or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are
It's
interesting.
really cool.
It's
Yeah.
a Arc D hooker. Bonefish Tarpon Trust sells them on their website. I
Nice.
think they're a big proponent of that. They've
Yeah.
started using those, and that's where I got the idea. Because there's you don't have to handle the fish. You just
Yeah.
swing them in, grab the leader,
Yeah.
slide it down, pop, they're
Yeah.
done. You don't even have to touch them.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No, and it's good because, I mean, if they flop in that boat,
Yeah.
bounce around.
Right.
It's not good for them.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll
Obviously.
dome themselves
Yeah.
on all kinds of hard
They're-
surfaces.
they're big
man.
fish.
Yeah, and we're pretty lucky. We don't have the predators. The dolphins get them.
But it's not like
But
you got a CUDA coming
We
in.
don't have lemon sharks circling the boat or anything like that. But still, you want to minimize the time you handle a
Yeah.
fish.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes you slide that tool down and they're kind of worn out and they might like act a little. I'm
Still on the Tequila train.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
on Codigo.
Yeah,
George Strait-
Codigo,
George
sponsored
Strait
by
brand.
Codigo.
Yeah.
We're not sponsored by
Yeah,
Codigo.
we should be though.
Yeah, I don't know why they haven't
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah. Can I get a pro deal on Codigo Blanco tequila?
It's kind of funny, the pro deal, that you bring that up, because we were talking about, coming from Colorado. You're like, you guys go into those dispensaries? It's like, I mean, we've been in them, we
Yeah.
don't smoke a whole lot of weed. We
Right.
really don't, coming from Colorado. But that's what we expected everyone from Texas to think. Like,
Yeah.
oh, here's these stoners.
yeah.
And we'd pull our kayaks out.
Backpacks
And
full of weed.
yeah, exactly. Their tires are probably full of weed,
Yeah.
and their kayaks are full
I'm
of weed.
surprised you
and-
didn't get pulled over.
I
I
was-
the panhandle.
I was surprised, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like 3 a.m. when I was rolling through.
Did you see the billboards? Like it's like a lawyer, like attorney. It's a law office, and they're like, "Got weed? Like, let us."
Really? I did not,
On 287, people get busted bringing weed in from Colorado.
Oh,
I guess,
man.
and they're like, they want,
Yeah. They want in on
represent
that.
those people.
Yeah, they want in on that.
But anyway, hit me up. It's $10 a G.
Yeah, exactly. I got it here. We're in Texas now. That's pretty cheap, man.
yeah,
Dude, whatever. Street prices.
yeah.
But talking about the pro deal, yeah, just kind of. I wonder if those guys get a pro deal on weed. You know, what's their pro deal?
In the shops.
we can get pro deal on tequila, man.
We work at fly shops, before, and it's like, man,
I can get pro
those
deal on
waiters
this.
so cheap.
Yeah,
It's like, I wonder if those guys working at the weed store
get
like,
pipes and all kinds of stuff.
I just got the new
Vaporizer.
Vapomatic. Yeah,
it's sick.
What were you saying again, though?
yeah. Huh?
Wait, what?
Let me open my eyes so I can talk to you. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's funny you bring that up though. I had a couple more things I wanted to touch on here. I got them written down. Give me just a sec here. That's why I had this brought up. I wasn't just sitting on my phone. These were just quick jot downs, but how do you feel about bananas on boats?
I think I listened to your podcast about somebody throwing a banana.
Oh yeah, that's our buddy who's down here, dude.
Oh yeah,
who was down here? Yeah, he likes to throw bananas on my boat.
Oh, what's
Sam?
Sam?
Yeah,
damn Sam.
So you're not a fan of
I
it?
had a little kid. He was 9 years old. Brought a banana on the boat, and I'm not going to be mean to a little kid. So.
Yeah.
I threw that fucking banana at him.
So it's a 3-boat trip, right? And you go 20 minutes, and we kind of pull over, and I haven't touched a fish, and the other boats are like, "You got 3."
Yeah. You're like, oh man,
4 on the pheasant tail. They're going by me like 2 on the chubby, and I'm like, God, son of a bitch, And this kid's flailing, but Anyway, he gets. We pull over and kind of have a rendezvous and change flies and stuff. And
I need a snack real quick.
he opens his banana and he's like, "This is rotten,"
Oh, and he's
and
got
I'm
a
like,
rotten
"Sweet, let me
banana?
throw it in the bushes."
Yeah, gone.
Gone. And then he caught fish.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's a thing. It's a thing, man.
I read an article. I think it was in the Drake a couple of years ago. It was like things that basically 3 things
You
of
don't
a trustworthy guide.
Okay.
Right. So they got dog hair in their truck.
Yeah.
They're superstitious.
Yep.
What was the other one? I don't know. I can't remember the other one, but I
Sounds
was like,
good so far.
Sweet, I'm trustworthy.
Yeah.
'Cause I've got like a whole yellow lab worth of hair in my truck,
Yeah.
and which I actually use to tie flies sometimes.
I've done that. I've done some black
great
lab flies.
bone-
Yeah,
fish
dude,
flies.
I tied some flies
Yeah.
with your old black.
Like
lab.
a little
we just cut it off of him.
Yeah.
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 He was old. It was like he's not gonna miss it.
You sweep it up on the floor and use it as dubbing.
Oh yeah, no.
Dude, that's
Dude, dryer
Really?
lint. I've used dryer lint with all the
Nice.
dog hair in it for dubbing.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Ooh.
You'd be like, all right, I'm gonna wash my darks
Yeah.
that sat on the floor for a while. My dog laid in while I was
Yeah.
out of town,
Uh-huh.
and then you wash that, and you got dark dog hair
Yeah.
dubbing. It's like
Try to
super-
recreate that one, dude.
I know
Yeah.
it's gonna be tough. I got to get another dog first.
my yellow lab's named Earl, and he's been on. Had some good flies.
He's had some
Caught
good
some
fun.
bonefish.
Nice man,
Yeah.
tying some gotchas.
Uh-huh.
Oh, we were going to talk about Andrus a little bit, just because you mentioned it today, and
Mhm.
we're kind of. Did you listen to that PFO Andros podcast?
I think
no?
some of it.
Yeah.
On my drive down.
There was some rough times.
Yeah,
in
sounds
Andros
like you
that
guys
I
have
had.
rough weather.
Yeah,
and
rough
some-
weather
and some
and-
rough time.
Yeah, I had a couple rough times out there.
Yeah, rough living.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting. We started talking about Andros today, and then you
Yeah.
brought up some Sean Leadon.
Yeah.
No, super
Yeah, I fished
super
with
good
Sean a
dude.
little bit.
And yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get to fish with him, but
He's the West Side expert.
yeah, and that's what I heard.
Yeah,
And
it's good.
I mean, we fished with some good guides down there,
Yeah.
but shout out to Ryan McVeigh, who's not here,
Yeah.
but took me to Andros,
Sweet.
and kind of showed me the ropes down
Yeah.
there, and spent some time in the bars most of the time
Yeah,
because the
Nice.
weather was terrible.
Yep.
But yeah, it's cool. Sean seemed like a really good
It's
dude.
a
and-
great place, and so close to Florida. I would say, and I've never been to the Indian Ocean at all, but of the places I've been, elsewhere in the Bahamas, Belize, and Mexico, I'd say Andros has
Yeah.
the best bonefish in the world.
Yeah.
They got fish like Isla Morada size fish.
You're not going down there to chase tarpon or permit.
No, I mean
No.
there's some resident tarpon down
Yeah.
there, and there's some permit up on the northwest corner, up in that rockier, grassier stuff for sure. And Sean will be the first to tell you.
Yeah.
You know,
Thousands.
thousands.
Thousands, Mom.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, they're there. But the bonefish is just incredible.
Yeah.
And I think bonefish and redfish they're my two favorite species because they'll reward you for a good shot in most scenarios, and they're great. They're just a really fun fish, you know. And there's not a lot of pressure to make the shot happen. You know, you
Yeah.
can get in a groove and catch
Oh,
a
yeah.
handful. And
Yeah. It's like one guy's hooked up, the other guy
yeah,
goes
it's
up to the
great.
front. All right, put another cast
Right.
in. Boom. Now both guys are hooked
yeah,
up.
it can be
And,
like
yeah.
that, and they're fun to catch. You know, tarpon and permit. I love both of those species.
You fish for them both?
Yeah,
Yep.
but they're, you know, I get the Elvis leg when I
Yeah.
throw in a tarpon
Yeah.
and permit.
Start shaking
you know,
a
and
little
it's I love that,
Buck fever.
and I'll spend a lot of money the rest of my life chasing those fish. But there's that difference.
Yeah.
you know, like I'm so much more relaxed throwing at bonefish and redfish
Yeah.
and having a good time.
Right.
You
It's
know,
pretty low key today.
Yeah.
Pretty mellow.
yeah.
That's kind of how you
Light
you
duty's
want
fun.
it. Yeah. No, it was a blast, man.
Super fun.
We had fun. I mean, we appreciate you taking us out and kind of bringing us here. What's the lodge called here that you guys are running out of?
This is Blue Lagoon Lodge. My buddy Joe runs it. It's
Joe was here.
Yep.
He was hanging out, listening, and I don't know where he ran off to. But
It's a VRBO, but it also is all-inclusive fly lodge, and they put together packages. And yeah, we just had a group of 3 guys from Missouri and Illinois came down. We had 2 great days out of 3. You know, we were blown out the
pretty
middle
good, though.
day. Yeah,
I mean, for saltwater.
Pretty
Absolutely.
damn good.
we had to get a little creative. You know, we had a huge cold front on Friday, blowing like 40. Legit, it was insane. You guys were here.
Yeah.
Nothing to do at all. So we took him out to the jetties and took some bait, and
Yeah.
you know, we actually all we caught were a few catfish, like hardheads. You know, but we took a bottle of rum.
Yeah.
and they had a good time, and you know, but Joe and his wife Kelly do all the cooking. It's really nice. It's super.
That's awesome.
It's an intimate place,
I mean,
and it's right on the canal.
It's cool. We brought up right off the bat. This is the coolest spot we've done a podcast so far. We're sitting in just a little breezeway here, but I mean, you walk into it and you know it's just a bunch of fly fishing bums sitting in here. You know, that just there's line everywhere. There's flies everywhere. And so you can hear the wind blowing by right now. You know, but we're sitting in this little breezeway, and the canal's right out here with a little skiff parked on it. You know, and I mean, it's awesome spot to be doing
Totally
a podcast
badass.
right
Yeah, it's
now.
great. We got he's got canal access to Copano Bay, which is some of the most legendary redfish water on the Texas coast. And if the wind's blowing the wrong way, you trailer the boat and run 10 minutes south and do what we did.
Yeah.
So
What do you obviously this place was hit pretty hard by Hurricane Harvey. What do you think about that for the fishery and kind of, I mean, just in general around this place, business wise? And
I'm a little careful to speak to a lot of that because I wasn't here.
Okay.
I was fortunate to not have to deal with Hurricane Harvey, and this community definitely caught the brunt of that storm. The wind and storm surge was pretty brutal, and it wrecked a lot of people's lives and a lot of people's second homes and businesses and that sort of thing. But this community, from what I can tell, as being, I'll admit, somewhat of an outsider, is super resilient, and this place looks great.
Yeah.
Real estate's back, businesses are back. People down here are awesome. And tons of people from Austin, San Antonio, Houston, Dallas, they come down here every weekend.
Yeah.
All summer long, any holiday you got. People love this area, and it's a beautiful area of the Texas coast. We got all these oak trees which you guys have seen, and
Yeah.
you know, cool little downtown and lots of great restaurants. It really is a destination fishery. And,
Totally.
And it's becoming.
We came a
More
long
and
way
more
to get
so.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know, you hear forever. You know, people would hear that I'm coming down to Texas, and I'm like, oh, like Bull Reds, like Louisiana. You know, and we talked
about that earlier. Yeah.
And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, you know, we don't get like the 35-pound redfish in a foot of water or anything.
Yeah.
Right.
But we have an awesome fishery, super healthy fishery.
Like you said, really diverse.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
you know, on
super
one
diverse.
end, like we're kind of situated right between the upper Laguna Madre and Matagorda Bay. And we've got, you know, black mangroves and turtle grass and sand and mud and oysters and shell, and you've got from one corner to the next is different,
yeah.
and a big population of fish and a lot of clear water, and just a really cool sight fishing venue down here.
It's great.
And a lot of options.
Yeah. No, I've enjoyed every aspect of
phenomenal.
Texas so
Yeah.
far.
It's really great.
You know, for us, it's intimidating at times, you know, getting on the kayak, you know, trying to head out to a spot or like,
Yeah.
oh man, you know, this is going to be a big paddle, you know,
Yeah.
get out there or whatever. But most times, you know, it's the places we have gone where we've gotten into fish, it's worth it. You know,
Yep.
it's like, that was great. You
Yeah.
know, that was an awesome
Cool.
day and we're casting at fish. And so
Cool.
the kayak, I mean, I would say,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a fun option.
Yeah, that's
You know,
something I've never done.
It's cool. You know, we're able to stand up.
I'm in my
and-
nice skiff.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
exactly.
poor
That's what
bastard. Paddling
That's what we
away.
said today. I was like, man, it's really hard to go back to the kayaks after
Yeah.
being in a nice skiff, right? It's like, I don't want to do it. You
Yeah.
know, it's
You get
because it's
spoiled.
just, yeah, you do. I mean, you
Yeah.
really do get spoiled
Range.
on it.
Dude, it's getting down and dirty in the kayak
Yeah, man.
when you're fishing that way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
mud everywhere.
It's gnarly.
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's still
And
cool. I
sight
mean,
wise, I mean, you guys, I'll tell you one thing for the record, you guys can see fish, which is awesome. Not everybody can come
that
down
was
here
also
and
a
see
learning
fish.
curve.
Yeah.
But
My point being, sitting down in a kayak, like that's
Yeah.
really hard to see fish.
oh yeah,
You know,
that was our learning curve.
You can
Yeah.
you can stand in ours and we'll like push pull with
Yeah.
the paddle.
just shove it. Yeah.
And so like you're at least up standing. But
Then
man,
you gotta like put it down.
Yeah, that was the hard part.
Yeah,
Putting it down,
dude.
like picking up your rod,
Yeah.
not spooking them, and
Yeah.
like, I mean, we.
I've caught bonefish from a paddleboard before, and it's,
Oh wow,
it's like,
I've heard of that. I've heard
you know,
people doing it.
It's like you hook them and you're like, ooh.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Where's he taking me?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
luckily
shit.
we were
Now
just
what?
yeah. Luckily we were just in those small lakes. You know, and
Uh-huh.
you didn't have to go far. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, if they did pull you around a little bit, but
Sure.
yeah, it's pretty. You get spoiled being in that skiff. You know. And,
Yeah, that's
and,
nice.
Yeah. Just
for sure.
yeah.
my baby.
It's fun being in the same boat, you
Yeah.
know, and being able to watch each other fish and learn
Yeah.
from it and watch the eats and see it happen. You're
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah,
oh,
talk a little
oh.
shit. too,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
that's-
Yeah,
that's
talk a
the
little-
fun part.
I mean, that was the cool part too. I mean, we were talking shit to you were talking shit to us, you
Yeah.
know, it's like
Yeah,
it just
dude,
went
it's
all back and
perfect.
forth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing is most of the time when we're trout fishing, Cameron and I are either, you know, rowing each other.
Yeah.
Basically, is it? You
Yeah.
know, we don't. I've got some trout fishing buddies and we go out, but mostly when we're trying to figure it out, it's
Yeah.
just me and Cameron rowing
Yeah.
each other, trying to see what's happening.
Yeah.
So
we
Nice.
I mean, we do a lot of dry fly fishing too, you know, where
Yeah.
we kind of,
That's good.
you know, where we can spot fish,
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, there's one that just came up, you know,
Yeah.
it's over here. Let me get you closer. All right,
Uh-huh.
now put one in right on the bank, you know, all right, leave
Yeah.
it. It's coming up. And then be like, whew,
Yeah,
and you're
that's
like,
good.
that was perfect,
Bam.
you know, like,
Yeah.
but we're all, you know, that's the thing, man. I mean,
Yeah.
we've talked about that a little bit, but it's cool, you know, the guide community, if you can find the right people, which I think we did, you know,
Right.
meeting you and hanging out with you. I mean,
Yeah.
if the guide community can stay strong like that,
Exactly.
instead of hating each other all the
Oh,
time,
man,
or
yeah.
you know, yelling at each
That's
other
right.
on Instagram, or you know,
It
at
can
the
be
put
super,
in or whatever.
It
Yeah.
can be super hostile.
Yeah,
You know,
if it can
Super
be,
and it
hostile.
doesn't need to be.
no,
it's-
if it can be like this, you
yeah,
know,
we're
where
all
it's like-
trying to do the same thing,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
we all like the same stuff.
we're all trying to make
Mostly
money and
for the
catch
same
fish.
reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
totally.
And you know, we talked about the Instagram thing. I completely deleted mine.
Yeah,
And
I
it's
know
like,
that was. That's what you're saying. I got to
Yeah.
tell you guys, I deleted
And-
my Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It's good for you.
nobody needs to know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's what you
know
say.
what I
You go,
mean?
nobody needs to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It makes you think about it too. You're like, man, how much time do I spend on Instagram? You know, just
Yeah.
looking at shit and then, you know, telling Dame like, oh, look at this
Yeah.
ass hat.
Right.
You know, check this out.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
and I told you guys,
it's like,
you
why
know,
are we doing that?
I've
You know,
been-
why are we doing that?
I've been married to my wife Maggie for 5 years now, and we have a 9-month-old daughter, Blythe. And tell you what, the perspective changes.
Yeah.
My world shrunk, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like, you know what? I love my clients. I book via word of mouth and referral
Yeah.
and returning clients, and those are the best kind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't need to promote my fishery to get business.
Yeah. You did say that. Yeah.
And I save myself a couple hours a day hanging out with my family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which is
And
awesome.
Absolutely.
It's I admit it. It's a time suck, right?
Yeah. It is.
And we're all and
And your phone tells you, oh, this is your screen time.
yeah, and I'm
you're like,
shut
oh.
up, no, right?
That's no way I did
Yeah.
that. No way.
Yeah.
Your screen time is
There's a
up
glitch in my
45%.
phone.
Yeah. It's up 45% from
Yeah,
last week.
that's
Like,
right.
no. No way.
No. Yeah. So I tell you what, man, I understand the necessity for it, and like we said earlier, I think it's brought fly fishing to so many people,
Yeah.
which is a great thing
And it's
for
brought
everybody, especially you
and it's
and
kind
I.
of, you know, it's brought a
Right.
lot of people to learn a lot of things
Yeah.
about fly fishing too, you know.
Yeah, and you realize the different ways of fly fishing, right? The
Yeah.
species and the different methods of
Right.
doing
Yeah.
it, and there's people from all different backgrounds doing it, and I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I think the industry, I say that with
Quotes.
yeah,
Air quotes there.
and I think it's tarnished maybe a little bit because of that, and we see that as guides.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
it created a real kind of a deep marsh that you have to wade through
Yeah.
the bullshit
That's right.
in this industry.
That's right, and the
For
companies have fallen victim to, you know, getting their free marketing
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
Instafluencers.
Yeah.
right.
Instafluencer is nice.
Anyway, I mean that's a whole other
Yeah,
thing.
it
but
is. I
it's
mean,
a-
we don't need to go
It's a
into that
rabbit
hard,
hole
but-
for sure.
Right, it
but,
is.
I mean, you could probably guess how we all feel about it from
Yeah.
just that.
yeah.
I think a lot of, you know, everybody talks about it, but fact is, like, I've done. I feel like I've been really lucky in getting the clients that I have, and that turns into more clients.
Yeah.
and I don't need to put on Instagram that Dane and Cameron and I caught
Yeah.
20-something fish.
I mean,
today.
you're completely
By the way,
right.
we caught 20-something fish today in Texas, and it was awesome. You know,
I mean, we've talked about this on the podcast too. We're not making money on the podcast.
right?
You know, like we don't have
Yeah.
ads, we don't have sponsors. We're doing it because we want to do it.
Yeah,
You know, and I mean, yeah, if there's a crowdsourcing way, all right. There's a crowdsourcing way to do it.
that was a big pour.
Then
Good night, Cameron.
you know, it'd be great to like,
Bye.
you know, have a couple bucks coming in here and there where it's like, all right, cool, that helps, you know, do the podcast, but
Yeah.
I'm not even worried about it.
Yep.
You know, it's just us doing it because we want to do it.
Yep.
You know, if it was a business, it'd be different.
Yeah.
And I think that's how it should be, you know, for us too. You know, you don't make a lot of money fish guiding all the time.
No.
You know, but it's something that you want to do, and it's something that makes you happy, and you could be in a
Yeah.
really shitty position in an
That's
office
right.
as well.
Yep.
You know, and the reason we're sitting down here right now doing a podcast
Yeah.
is because we all enjoy the same things,
Yep.
and we appreciate each other for how we do
Yep.
it. And that's the
That's
cool
right.
part about
I mean,
the fishing industry and the guide industry.
yeah, we've all sacrificed a lot of
Oh,
things
yeah.
possibly in our lives to be chasing
tough.
fish around for a living.
Yeah.
It's tough, and you know, I could have. I've got a lot of great clients, and I've got a college degree, and I could have gone to the corporate world a long time ago.
College guy.
Yeah, no big deal. Western State grad. But you know, having, I want my daughter to have everything she could ever want, right? That's just natural as a dad. But for her to also see her dad doing what he's passionate about and loving going to work every day.
Yeah.
Not to get sappy, but that's cool. You know?
That's
And-
that's
and
no, it's
I
badass.
hope, I hope she can see that, and I hope that she
will.
And
Yeah.
it allows her to grow up in a really neat place.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't like force, the outdoors and fishing on your kid, that they eventually know that it's just a way of life with your family.
Yeah.
And
again, not to get sappy, but
Yeah.
I mean, your wife and daughter aren't here now,
Right.
And
That's
you're
tough,
out
man.
here, yeah.
and
I can't imagine.
yeah, I was away
But-
for a little bit when she was 8 weeks old. I was down fishing south, and it was hard. And I've been away fishing, away from my wife fishing a lot in the last 5 years. But now my daughter is 9 months old, and she's trying to talk, and she's crawling, and she's like,
I'm sure you're getting
like
pictures
looking
and
at me and
videos
smiling
every day,
and laughing and sticking her tongue out at
Totally.
me. And it is hard to be away.
I can picture that. I can't exactly
yeah.
imagine it.
It'll
'cause-
happen, man. And I tell you what, don't let this business keep you from having a family, because it's the best.
Yeah. Did you
Right.
see that Kink and Gasoline article they did? Is I'm sorry, Fish Boy, or it was like Fish Boy Sorry or something like that.
No.
And it was basically about holding relationships while being a fishing guide or a fish bum, and trying to get that going. And it's kind of, it's just interesting.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
Because we all go through it and we all sacrifice. But with any occupation, like we've said,
Right.
we all sacrifice a lot to
Yeah.
do it. And a lot of
Yeah.
relationships have been blown or,
absolutely.
made
It takes the
well,
right, it takes the right
mean,
person. My
yeah.
wife, she's the most supportive person in my life. I mean, a lot of other wives would have been over it.
Yeah.
by now, and she's never told me to hang it up and go do something else.
That's awesome. She's a good girl.
Yeah.
That's really
God.
cool.
Yeah.
She went to
yeah.
University of Tennessee, though, so as a Bama fan, I'm like, but Bama's kicked her ass since I've known her, so things
There
are
you
good.
go. I went to my first Longhorn
Everything's
game
okay.
that I've been in Texas.
Did you?
Yeah, man. We went to first Longhorn game. I'm not huge
Yeah.
into college sports, and
Yeah.
got some tickets, and it was like,
Cool.
all right, let's go.
That's
and
cool.
it was awesome, man. It was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
I grew up
checking
an
that out.
Oklahoma fan, so I hate the Texas Longhorns.
I could care less,
No.
but
I know what
it's
you mean.
cool. Yeah. I went to a
There's
school.
nothing like
I
it.
went for one semester at Western. I didn't
Yeah.
bring that up. I said
Yeah,
I went
yeah.
for a short amount
Sure.
of time, but I went to one semester at Western.
Yeah.
And there's when I was going, there was maybe 2,500 kids.
Yep.
And going to one of those schools where you're just like, my
yeah.
gosh,
It's insane.
there's tons of
University
people.
of Texas. I don't even know how many students.
I
that
have
place
no
has,
idea.
but
It's unreal,
massive.
but it's really cool.
Football is a huge deal there.
Yeah, huge. There's people in the stands yelling and like older
Oh, yeah.
couples, and you're like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, throw in like
Yeah.
bourbon and Coke over everybody.
Like, what are you doing? We'll wrap this up here in a
Yeah.
minute, but I should have brought this up earlier so you can think about it. But we talk about this occasionally on the podcast, fishing superpowers.
Yeah.
If you had one fishing superpower,
Oh,
what do you think? I know that's a tough one.
I don't even.
I should have brought it up earlier so you could think
It's
about
kind
it.
of a cop out to ask for examples, huh?
I can tell you.
Yeah, what's your
I
fishing
bring them up
superpower?
all the time. All these
Cameron,
superpowers.
what is your fishing superpower?
I wish I didn't have to do shuttle. That was one. I was like, I
Okay.
wish I could just teleport. And didn't have to do shuttle.
Yeah.
Shuttle was one. I got a buddy who had one that was. I wish I could change flies mid cast, like change rigs.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, nymph rig. Oh,
Sure.
hopper dropper.
Yeah.
Oh, dry fly.
Yeah.
Change rigs mid cast.
Yeah.
Things like that. But
Uh-huh.
we'll call you out if you're trying to have
Okay.
like X-ray vision or something like
Yeah.
that. I brought up the superpower. I should have brought it up earlier, but
Dang.
occasionally a fishing superpower will come up. Where
Yeah.
we're like, oh man, that'd be a sick superpower.
Yeah.
If you could have that fishing.
Aside from having better eyes, like I feel like I see fish really well,
Yeah.
but
So
To
like I
be
said, we
like-
can't call you out. I'll call you out
Yeah,
on X-ray
that's-
vision.
yeah,
You can't have
have
X-ray
that.
vision. That's
I
not
would
allowed.
I would say to have the speed and efficiency to tie all my flies.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one.
All
We
of
haven't
them.
heard that one yet.
Yeah. Because, I mean,
crank 'em
how
out.
much money would you save?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Trout fishing, especially.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
you go
yeah.
day of trout fishing, dozen and a half flies, boom, boom,
Yeah.
adios.
That's a
You
good
know,
one.
That's
we caught all of our fish today on the same fly.
On
well,
one on the
one
other
other-
fly. Yeah.
but like 20-something fish on one fly? Like, sure.
That's easy.
It's like 20 cents.
and it was falling it was falling apart, and it was
Right?
like, screw it, we're gonna keep fishing it.
Yeah.
Break
Like-
that down into like a per eat cost on that. For
Maybe, so thinking about this, like a 3D printer
Oh,
and being like chubby Chernobyl size
Yeah.
16 Royal.
I
Boom.
need 12
Yeah.
Prince nymphs now.
Yep. Ka-chunk.
Yeah, done.
That's the sound it would make.
Yeah, ka-dunk.
Ka-chunk.
Do you ever wish that you could just like pull yourself around with your mind?
Yeah.
You're just
Oh,
like-
that was mine.
Yeah. Like you think like spin me.
Yeah, and you're just like,
Yeah.
"Vrnt."
So that
Yeah.
so this was
You don't have
mine
to do that
rowing.
like awkward like look at the
Yeah.
guide and be like, I'm waiting for you to spin me
Yeah.
for this shot.
My big one was,
Or you're gonna get
and
hooked.
I got called out pretty hard by Ryan McVeigh on this one, where he's like, "Man, that is the most selfish thing I've ever heard in my entire life." But mine was, I wish I could row me down the river.
Yeah. Oh man.
So that, because I know exactly where I'm
Totally.
going,
Yeah.
I know exactly what I want
Get
to
me
fish.
closer.
Yeah, exactly. And
Slow it down.
You don't even have to talk.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no
It's
It's all in
talking
your-
involved.
It's all in your
Slow it
brain.
down.
Yeah. There's
Slow
no
it
talking
down.
involved. It just happens. And you're like, that was perfect,
right.
man. Good job, Nux.
Yep.
You know, like,
Yeah.
we did it.
I know.
And so that was my good
Yeah.
one, you know, and I got called out pretty. He's like, that is really messed up. That
Yeah.
it's like, well, that's the way it is.
Do you ever get in
know?
a boat and you feel like there's too many guides in that boat?
Yeah. You're like,
Yeah.
we got 3 fishing guides here trying to tell
Yeah.
all of us what to do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a buddy that, fish with him and he'll be like, pull me to that mangrove over there.
You're
I'm
like, dude, I was
"All
working
I'm going.
Yeah.
And he'll be like, Matt, where you going, man? I'm like, I'm trying. I'm going over there in the mangrove.
Been there.
It's like,
Been there.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that is funny.
Yeah.
Too many guides in one boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
And they're like,
usually,
Jesus Christ.
usually, I mean, like, if Dane and I go fish, it's like, hey, you didn't invite anybody, did you? Like, nope,
Yeah.
just us.
Right.
Because you get one more person
Yeah.
in that boat floating down a
Yep.
river, you're like, damn it,
Yeah.
like, this is, it's
Right.
not as much fun with trying to
I
put
agree.
2 people on fish.
On a drift boat, it's 2 people. for
Yeah.
sure.
And I'm sure on a skiff, it's kind of the same at times, too.
It can
Like,
be.
hey, just one.
Yeah.
You know, like, if you're going to book a good trip, just you.
Yeah.
Just you come.
Well, at least only one of us fishing at the same time.
Yeah, true.
But we all have that pride though, and so like the guy on the bow is like, "Hey, can you like back up a little bit?" Like, and you're back there pulling, and you're like, "You back up a little bit. Just take the shot."
Yeah,
Like,
just take the
God.
shot. Yeah.
what- you're freaking fishing guy, and you're asking me to spin you more.
No, and like, honestly, like I've had minimal experience on a flats boat,
Yeah.
but you take those situations and you learn. You're like, look, the guide knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell him what to do.
Yeah.
He tells me where they're at, and what if either I spot him or I don't.
Yeah.
He'll turn me to where I can cast, or he'll tell me how to cast. And it's like, all right, I'm not going to do anything until he goes, all right, shoot it. Go for it. Because you wait for that boat to get in position.
Yeah, and you can feel that. You start,
you can
start to
yeah.
fish with a guide, and you can be like, okay, he's kind of turning the bow
Yeah.
from his pattern. Like there might be a fish coming
Yeah.
up.
Right.
Sure enough, it's like, all right.
Oh yeah, or you hear
11
him.
o'clock,
I'd hear you
50 feet.
mutter, to yourself in the back, like, "Oh,"
Yeah.
and you're like, "All right, yeah," and then you'd start
Or
pushing a little.
fucker.
Yeah,
Damn
you pussy, why didn't you eat?
Yeah.
Get
I
out
don't
of
say
there.
that.
Well, to us,
Yeah.
maybe.
You pussy, why didn't you strip it better?
Yeah.
You said it to us.
No, I curse the fish.
Oh yeah, you got to. When we fish, it's
Yeah.
like I mean, the only thing you can equate it to is dry fly fishing,
Yeah.
because it's like you're watching those fish
Yeah.
come up and try to eat.
That's right.
And you get a refusal. You'll see a fish come up and refuse, and you're like, "Oh, you little bitch!"
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Just eat it.
The
Just
hell,
eat
dude?
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
what's your problem,
Yeah.
man? Just eat it.
Yeah, I take it up with the fish.
Yeah.
And it's like,
You're keeping it all inside with the client.
Especially if those like really good, you see the fish from a long way and you're like, all right, I'm going to set up for this. And I'm going to wait till the shot's really good before I say something to the client. You're like,
I'd
okay,
noticed that too.
You know, I'm not calling out every fish I see, right?
No.
It's all, I call it out when I have the shot.
Yeah.
And, you know, for the fish not to react to a properly presented fly and everything done right, it's like, oh, God, you know.
Yeah. That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had a lot of those today.
But we had a lot of them that worked out.
Exactly.
Right?
Totally.
Yeah, we had a
Like,
lot
yep,
that worked
take
out.
Came
that.
back like a third time.
We'll take that.
Like,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
That was great.
Like,
Yeah, that was perfect.
what kind of fly line do you need here? Well, you really just need a leader.
Yeah.
Because they're like 6 feet right
Dane's
there.
all about the leader
Hey,
game. He's
look
like,
under
"Can I
your
just-"
left foot. There's a redfish.
Yeah, just pop it down. We did. We'll mention this and then we can wrap it up here because I know we're all getting hungry and we're just kind of rambling now. But that's what this podcast is about.
Yeah,
Drunk
that is
rambling.
totally what it's
It's a
about.
guided trip.
Yeah, these are your guides sitting here. But it was kind of cool, you know, getting into the grass a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
and just dangling flies.
Yeah.
That's what, you know, just like barely popping it in and just skipping it a little bit. And it
Yeah,
was like,
those fish
thunk.
had no idea.
Oh
what was
yeah,
going on.
and that's really cool that you can do that
Yep.
in the skiff, you know, and like just kind of get
Yeah.
that close. And
Yeah, it's pretty
I mean, we had a lot of different opportunities today where it's like, all right, you got a long cast,
Yep.
you know, okay, you got a short cast coming at you. Okay, just dangle this one over
Yeah.
the reeds, you know, just Dane, you're up, just pop it in
what
there
do you
real
call
quick.
it? Dabbing?
Dabbing, yeah,
Dab.
the dab.
Dab.
You did listen
Dab
to
it.
that podcast,
Yeah,
yeah,
dude,
the dab.
I drove through the Texas Panhandle. I had a lot
Yeah,
of
that's
time.
all. I'm glad you listened to him,
Yeah,
man.
I had
That's
to vet
awesome.
these guys.
Yeah, you had to see what we were about,
That's
and you're
right.
like, okay, cool. I'm not going to cancel this trip yet.
That's right.
Until I talk to them, until I listen to their podcast
Yeah.
a little bit and see who they are. But
Yeah.
yeah, the dab technique, just dab it.
Yeah.
And we did some dabs today, just dabbing it in
See,
there. And
I thought
what
they
did
were
I tell
great.
you? I go, Matt Miller would be proud.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Totally.
We got a buddy, Matt Miller. He's all about the
Yeah,
dab.
what is that for, like nymphing?
He does it with the hopper dropper.
Okay.
Where basically you just like pop it in there and just
Uh-huh.
lift it and drop
Huh.
it, lift it and drop it. And on the arc, I mean, I'm sure any
Damn.
fishery, but he's like, dude, the dab, it crushes
I need
it.
to learn
Just,
the
It's a
dab.
jig.
just pop it in. And yeah, you
I just
just
think
like
of Cam
jig it.
Newton.
The football
Doing
guy,
the-
dude.
Doing
One of
the dab.
those.
Oh, the
Yeah.
dab. Oh, yeah, dabbing. Oh, that's
I wish
stupid.
this was filmed. Cause
We're not talking. Yeah, we're
Just
not
like
talking about
this.
that dab.
That's
We're not flipping
stupid.
water bottles.
That's stupid.
We're not flipping water bottles up and down and dabbing. We're talking about dabbing flies.
Yeah, that's
in.
stupid.
But that's stupid. That's dumb. But
Right
well,
on.
it's up to you, man. If you want to rep yourself here
Yeah.
a little bit, and then we'll close it out.
No, yeah.
No
thanks,
Instagram.
Thanks for having. Yeah, can't find me on Instagram. But,
Don't even try it.
my name's Matt Dodson, and my website is dodsonflyfishing.com. You can find all my contact info there. I'm in Montana in the summertime, and Rockport, Texas, the rest of the time. So
Go
if
go
you
check it out.
Yeah.
Awesome
Go with
time,
Matt.
awesome guide.
For sure.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, man.
He'll keep you entertained the whole time, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, have
So,
a good time.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this is a fun time, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate you
Thanks
taking
for
us
coming
out
down.
and having us
Yeah.
over,
Yeah.
and we're gonna cook up some little fajitas here
Yeah.
and probably drink a little bit more tequila.
Fun to hang out with a couple guys from the old neighborhood.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's cool too. I'm glad we had that in
Yep.
common. And
For sure.
But yeah, this is Guided Trip podcast. Thanks, guys.
Great.